All right, well, it's week 8, which means it is time to take the midterm. And so that's really going to be our only order of business this week. The only assignment you have this week is the midterm. It's going to be due on Sunday. But the one kind of caveat is I'm not going to make it available until Thursday. And the reason is I want you guys to spend Monday through Wednesday studying. I found that when I allow students to take it on Monday, students will start it on Monday, get a low score, and then that's it. And it's like you wish you had taken the whole week to study and taken it later on in the week. So I'm sort of forcing you guys to take the first few days of the week to study, and I'm not going to open up the midterm until Thursday. Additionally, how would I like you to study? I didn't include this in kind of my midterm prep that's going to be posted in this week's module. So this is really kind of my tips for the midterm. Go back and study the homework that I've already assigned, the chapter 1 through 3 homework and the chapter 4 through 5 homework. Look at the questions you got right and wrong, and then look at the solutions, especially for the questions you got wrong. You want to make sure that you understand what you did wrong on the first homework and on the second homework. Additionally, you're allowed to print this stuff out. So have copies of the homework questions that you've had with the solutions on them. If you can't print out the solutions, write the solutions on the copy of the homework that you can print and have that available. You're allowed to use the ebook. You're allowed to use your notes. This is an open book, open note exam. And so yes, the questions are hard, but I have to ask hard questions if you have open note, open book exams. And where students run into problems is when they try to take it as a closed book, closed note exam when they have all the resources available. And so make sure you use the old homeworks. Make sure you review them on Monday through Wednesday. Understand the questions you got wrong by looking at the solutions and the explanations that are provided in the homework. I'm also giving you study attempts, which means you can go back to chapter 1 through 3 homework or the chapter 4 through 5 homework and retake it. And so make sure you understand those homeworks in and out. And that's really the way that you're going to get this. And like I said, you're allowed to print those out. So have a stack of papers with the homework questions and the solutions and all that stuff available for you when you take the exam. Because when you take the exam, you're only going to get one attempt. Meaning, once you sit down and click start, you have to take the entire exam in its entirety. It's going to be similar length to the homeworks. It's just going to cover all 5 chapters instead of just 1 through 3 or 4 through 5. It's going to be graded the same. It's going to be 100 points instead of 10, but it's basically the same thing. Every question is just worth 10 instead of 1 point. So it's going to be very, very similar to the homework, so that's where I would go to study. Additionally, I'm going to have all of your discussion questions graded by Tuesday. I'm going to have most of them done by Monday, and then whatever you was due this week, I'm going to have graded by Tuesday. So go back and look at your feedback to make sure you weren't making any real critical errors in, economic reasoning. If you got a 10, there was no errors in reasoning. If you got a 7, 8, or a 9, then there was some kind of error in your economic reasoning. So go back and look at those and make sure there's not anything, particular topics that you weren't understanding. So that's it for midterm week. I just want to make sure that you guys do study and make sure you study correctly, have resources available at your disposal when you're taking the midterm because it's an open book, open note exam, and make sure to utilize everything you can. So take practice attempts, have your homework questions ready, and this is midterm week. Remember, you're only going to have one attempt. So if you start the midterm, you have to be prepared to finish it. So give yourself enough time. There is no time limit on the midterm, but just make sure that you're going to have a couple hours to sit down and finish everything all in one shot. Okay, guys, good luck, and I'll see you next week.